Well, hours after the Walt Disney Company announced Jimmy Kimmel Live would be back on the air tomorrow night, the media company Sinclair shares a different message. Sinclair, which operates ABC News affiliates or ABC affiliate stations and has agreements with Disney for content distribution, posted on social media saying, quote, "Beginning Tuesday night, Sinclair will be preempting Jimmy Kimmel Live across our ABC affiliate stations and replacing it with news programming. Discussions with ABC are ongoing as we evaluate the show's potential return." Now, as we mentioned, Jimmy Kimmel Live, Walt Disney's parent company, announced that decision today that they would be reinstating Jimmy Kimmel. The show's return comes less than a week, though, after the company suspended it indefinitely, following comments Kimmel made on air in response to the shooting death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Now, the Walt Disney Company issued a statement on that decision, writing, quote, "Last Wednesday, we made the decision to suspend production on the show to avoid further inflaming a tense situation at an emotional moment for our country. It is a decision we made because we felt some of the comments were ill-timed and thus insensitive. We have spent the last days having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy, and after those conversations, we reached the decision to return the show on Tuesday." Now, the initial decision to suspend Kimmel's show prompted strong backlash. In addition to rallies and demonstrations, the move prompted another problem for Walt Disney. Shares of the corporation lost over $4 billion in value after the show was pulled from the air. So let's bring in Stephen Battaglio, a media reporter for the LA Times. Stephen, what do you make of Sinclair's latest move here to keep Jimmy Kimmel off the air on its ABC affiliates?
I think that the Sinclair lawyers should check their affiliate agreement with ABC very carefully, because there are restrictions on how many hours of programming you can preempt over a period of time. They could end up being in breach and lose their affiliation altogether.
So a lot of supporters of Kimmel's suspension called it a business decision. The president cited bad ratings. But does the temporary nature of this decision by Walt Disney to bring Kimmel back on the air, does that kind of go against that narrative there?
I don't know that it's temporary at all. I mean, they're bringing him back. And, you know, I think that they weighed the response to taking it off compared to the people who are angry about it, and they made the right call.
So Kimmel was expected to address the controversy the night he was suspended. Do we know anything about his monologue tomorrow night?
We haven't heard anything yet. This just happened late this afternoon. And my sense is that he's not going to outwardly apologize. He may want to clarify, and he may want to state that, you know, he meant no disrespect to Kirk's memory or family. But he's a pretty stubborn guy. I can't imagine he's going to go back there and do a full retraction.
So what do you think this whole suspension over the past few days, what impact has that had on the entertainment industry and comedians specifically?
I think it shows that the networks are, you know, people keep on talking about how these shows, that the ratings are down and the revenue is down. But the fact is that these shows still have a special place in the national conversation. They are part of our culture. These are strong, independent voices that we go to in times of tragedy. They comforted us during 9/11, and there are laughs when they're just talking about the national scene. And even if people aren't watching them on television, they are watching them on Instagram, on X, on other social media platforms. They're probably reaching more people than ever.
It's interesting, though, they keep bringing up the idea that late night is going down, that less and less people are watching late night television. They talked about this when it was announced that Stephen Colbert's show was going away in a year. They referenced it with Jimmy Kimmel as well. Is that true? Are less and less people watching late night television?
Well, there are less people are watching it the conventional way. You have, back when Johnny Carson was on, it was the only game in town. There were 4 or 5 channels, and that situation lasted for quite some time. Late night was very strong, going well into the 21st century. This is a programming form that was created in the 1950s. People are still watching it, but consumer habits have changed. You have more choice. You can watch what you want when you want it through video on demand streaming. Therefore, you don't need a late night host to lull you to sleep, especially when you can see his jokes the next day on social media.
So what do you
So
think,
they're
Jimmy?
not watching it. They're not watching it the traditional way,
Sure.
but
Well,
they
how do
are
you
still watching.
They're still watching it, just in different on different venues. And I'm curious, what do you think is going to happen with Jimmy Kimmel moving forward? His show is going to be back on the air, but his contract is up. How do you think he's going to play this?
I think it depends on whether he wants to keep doing it. I think he's there through next year, and he's already talked about retiring. He's a very unusual late night host in that he actually has guest hosts, which is something we haven't seen in decades. So he's certainly not addicted to it. He seems like the kind of guy who could walk away, and I wouldn't be surprised if Disney knew that when they were negotiating his return.
All right, Stephen Battaglio, thank you so much for being with us.